Okay, good morning to all. Welcome back. In the last class, we have discussed about different types of file attributes and the file operation. In file operation, there is how to create a file, reading a file, writing a file, repositioning or relocation with a file, deleting a file, and the truncating a file. Today, I am going to discuss about the different types of file or file types. File types and their extension, that means the file is be identified or through their extension. So executable file is extension is exe, bin and com executable file. Object file obj o, this is objective file. That means the file can be recognized by using their extension. Source code is C, C++, Java, and batch file, bat, sh, commands to command the interpreter. Text file, txt, doc, textual data documents, zip, tat, related files grouped together into file. Archive file, compressed for storage, multimedia file. So these are the types of files. Next is your file structure. File can be structured in several ways. Three common possible are byte sequence, is unstructured sequence of bytes, and the operating system does not care about the content of the file. It only sees the bytes. The structure provides maximum flexibility. Users can write anything into their files and name them according to their convenience. Both Unix and Windows use this approach. Record sequence in this structure. Record sequence in this structure, a file is a sequence of fixed length records. Here the read operation returns one record and the write operation overwrites or append or records. Next is your tree structure. In this organization, a file consists of a tree of records of varying lengths. Each record consists of a key field. The tree is stored on the key field to allow fast searching for a particular key. Access method, basically access method is divided into two types, sequential access and the direct access. It is the simplest access method in first sequential access. It is the simplest access method. Information in the file is processed in order, that is one record after another. A process can read all the data in a file in order starting from beginning, but cannot skip and read arbitrarily from any location. That means sequential file can be rewound. It is convenient with storage medium as magnetic tape rather than disk. So sequential file, all the records can be accessed sequentially. That means first record 1, 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So that means that is in the sequential manner. Suppose you and though it is a sequential access maintain the sequentially access method, that's why you cannot access the record or you cannot access the data randomly from a particular file. So sequential access, suppose the best example is your magnetic tape. Suppose you want to read the particular record, that means record number 11 or record number 20. Then what will happen? The head will be start from the record number 1, rather it will be directly moved to the record number 20 because it is in a sequential manner. Next is your direct access. A file is made of fixed length logical records that allow programs to read and write records rapidly in no particular order. This method can be used when disks are used for storing files. This method is used in many applications. Database system. If an airline customer wants to reserve a seat on a particular flight, the reservation program must be able to access the record for that flight directly without reading the records before it. In a direct access file, there is no restriction in the order of reading or writing. For example, we can read block 14, then read block 50, then write block 7, etc. So, direct access files are very useful for immediate access to large amount of information. So, in direct access, a file made of fixed length logical records, and main advantage is that it can be accessed the record directly from a particular location. Suppose you are in the location number 14 or record number 14, then you will directly move to the record number 50. That is the main advantage. Suppose as example you are in make a reservation a particular flight, and from that airport suppose there are 50 flights take off in daily basis. So you can directly move the particular file and make a reservation ticket. Neither it will start from the record number 1 and then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So this is the randomly, you can say it is access the record randomly, right? Now that is the direct access. Next is your structure of the directory or directory structure. The file system of computers can be extensive. Some systems store thousands of files on disk. To manage all this data, we need to organize them. The organization is done in 2 steps. The file system is broken into partitions. Each partition contains information about file within it. So, operation on directory, search for a file, that means a structure, that is the one minute. The 2 steps. The file system is broken into partitions. Each partition contains information about file within it. And what are the operation on a directory? Search for a file. We need to be able to search a directory for a particular file. Create a file. New files are created and added to the directory. Delete a file. When a file is no longer needed, we may remove it from the directory. And list a directory. We should be able to list the files of the directory. And rename a file. The name of a file is changed when the contents of the file change. And traverse the file. File system. It is useful to able to access every directory and every file within a particular directory. Next, come to the structure of the directory. Within the structure, there is single level directory, 2 level directory, 3 structure directories, and cyclic subdirectories. In single level directories, it is the simplest directory structure. All files are present in the same directory, so it is easy to manage and understand. And what are the limitations? A single level directory is difficult to manage when the number of files increase or when there is more than one user. Since all files are in the same directory, they must have unique name. So there is confusion of file names between different users. So single level directory is well for the single files, or you can say there is some limitation in the number of the files, but here it is not useful for the multi-number files, or you can say when the size of the file increases or number of the files, you can say the number of the files will be increased, is not useful for the single level directory. For today's this much. For next class we have to discuss another the two level directory. Thank you for all.